Video game spending by young Americans is dropping sharply. Year over year spending on games has declined almost 25% among 18 to 24-year-olds. So pretty much the game industry has found themselves in the same position as TV, movies, American comics. There's only so much you can squeeze out turds before your longtime fans who stuck with you, waiting for you to get back on track, finally give up. And when they give up, they're not going to be introducing their kids to your stuff like they otherwise would have been. They're not going to be buying it themselves, obviously. So now these kids are moving to other hobbies entirely. They're moving to games from other regions. And here's actually what I think is one of the biggest factors, okay? What if you look at it this way? Imagine thousands of gamers are no longer spending $80 on a AAA game and then another $50 for the season pass and then another $100 of microtransactions in that AAA game. What if instead they're buying AA and indie games that cost $20 and you get the whole finished game? And they get way more playtime out of those games than they did the AAA slop. We actually could be seeing a shift where even though younger people play more games, like they game longer, they're spending less money on the games they play. The only one that loses out with this is AAA, and no one cares about that. And the reason I don't care, they've made it clear that I am not their target audience. I'm not their customer. So fuck you. You could go out of business then. If you outright refuse to make the things I want, then what do I care if you go broke? You're a non-factor in my life right now. Like, oh, another company that makes things I don't buy anyway went out of business? Oh no, the tragedy. Oh man, we need a fight to make sure that nah, you know what? Forget about them. They didn't make anything I liked anyway. The average weekly spending by 18 to 24-year-old Americans on video games have dropped sharply year over year, according to data provided by Circana in a new report. As shared by the Wall Street Journal, spending on video games has dipped by close to 25% for this age bracket. For other age groups, the percentage drop is much smaller, representing the pressures young people in the U.S. are facing on their personal expenditure. Yeah, that's another thing to consider. Yeah, you also need to realize that if you're a young person going out on your own for the first time in this economy, it's not like you're going to have any money to spend anyway. More generally, spending at online and brick and mortar stores by this age group dropped 13% year over year between the months of January and April. According to Circana, other age group spending is still rising, though it also has apparently slowed. This is how you make them take notice. So the report suggests that numerous factors are behind the pressures of spending for young Americans, the challenges of the job market, student loan payments, and credit card debt. And also the fact that modern games are shit. Modern games are not good enough to be worth it. Clownfish was talking about this, that retro games are actually seeing a resurgence. And I think that's all the proof you need that the older games were just better. It's easy to brush off a boomer. Like, oh yeah, of course that fucking boomer would prefer older games. Those are the games he grew up with. Oh, I bet he doesn't like the direction new games have took because he's a fucking Luddite and can't get with the times. Yeah, of course the boomer would like those old games. But when you see kids who weren't even alive when some of these games came out prefer to go back and play the old games too, when the quote-unquote modern audience prefers the old games to the games that are being made for the modern audience, that's how you know, as an objective fact, that the old games are better than the new ones. If people across every age bracket would rather go back and play the old games than the new ones, you can't argue your way out of that. Like, objectively speaking, the older stuff was better. So until the current year game industry goes back to making things as good as they did in the past, they will continue declining. Spending is falling modestly among this age bracket rather than growing as it historically does, because they've kind of been fucked by the boomers, man. What's notable, though, is that Circana's data, which is based on 4 weeks ending April current year, gaming spend is dropping faster than other areas for the 18 to 24 age group, at a trend down faster than technology in general. Yeah, that's because the gaming is like the ultimate like luxury. You don't need gaming to survive. And guess what? If you want to, there's so many free-to-play games out there. Like Nikkei, I think, is a good example. That is a very free-to-play friendly game overall. If all you care about is the story and you don't need to get every single character, that game is very free-to-play friendly. You could enjoy that for and better yet, I've mentioned this before. You also got all the mini games in Nikkei. That fucking Hollow Knight game they did, the Vampire Survivors game, their tower defense game, each one of those mini games on its own is a better game than a lot of standalone games you have to pay for. And you don't have to pay for those. If you could download Nikkei right now, download that game, play through the tutorial, and then never play the main game again. You could just play the mini games. And you'll get more time and enjoyment out of that than if you paid $80 for a AAA game. So you don't need to spend money to enjoy games. All right? You don't need to. This data emerges amid a time of rising hardware and software costs in video game sector. Yeah, you think that might be contributing to why people are spending less as well? Like what? So the point of these price increases, when you can't grow your audience anymore. So if once you've hit saturation, once no one else available wants your stuff, like every customer you were gonna get, you have. That's when these companies start milking their remaining customer base more. Like, okay, if we can't make more money by getting more customers, we'll just charge more money to our existing customers. But every time they raise the price, they lose customers. So it's a death spiral. They keep raising prices to make up for their shrinking customer base, which shrinks their customer base faster, which makes them raise prices faster. See where this is going? That's where the game industry is right now, the AAA game industry anyway. They're at the point now where their customer base is declining because the stuff they make is kind of shit and no one wants it. So they're just going to keep trying to milk the few people they have left more and more. And every time they raise the price, they price someone else out of the market. Yeah, like Lieberwolf saying, good luck paying for a higher price Xbox or piss nickel now. Yes, that's exactly right. So you have people that would want to buy a new console. They're still console peasants to the core, but they're being priced out of the market. Every time the price goes up, it may not be a big deal to you, but there is somebody else out there that would have bought it until the price increase. Every time a price increase hits, somebody gets priced out of the market. So they keep shrinking their audience and keep raising their prices, which makes their audiences shrink faster. Just rinse and repeat. Xbox recently increased the price of its consoles across the line. For example, the upcoming game set to cost $80. Outer Worlds 2 would be up first with that price point. Of all the games that's going to lead Microshaft's $80 push, it's crap like Outer Worlds 2. Oh, but that Armageddon gun, am I right? I'm so random and funny. Nintendo 2 priced its Switch 2 launch title Mario Kart World at $80. The next major title for the platform, Donkey Kong Bonanza, will cost $70. I guess they figured, so people have been saying Mario Kart World is a disappointment compared to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. If they priced these games based on what they value it as? Are they admitting that Donkey Kong Bonanza will be even more of a disappointment than Mario Kart World by their own logic? Just something to think about. Keep that in the back of your head before you buy another Nintendo game.